from the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
And welcome back to KPIX 5 this morning. Happy Mother's Day. The time is 6:30. I'm Melissa Caen.
Good morning. I'm Devin Fehely. A new phone app could make it easier for the public to make comments and complaints about the Oakland Police Department.
KPIX 5's Jessica Flores is live at OPD headquarters to explain.
Devin, Melissa, this new app, the whole goal here is to really make it one seamless process for folks to go ahead and put in complaints to OPD and also to keep those officers accountable. Now, of course, this all comes after the major sex misconduct scandal here in Oakland involving several OPD officers. There was several reforms already put through. They brought in a new police chief, Ann Kirkpatrick, to clean up the mess. A federal report found OPD botched and covered up that investigation into the allegations of sexual misconduct against several of its officers involving a teenage sex worker. Now, Kirkpatrick has vowed reforms. Oakland's new police chief says that she wants new reforms, but this new app actually is coming from the city of Oakland.
The entire command staff I have as of today, from my own personal assessment, I have confidence in.
Now, here's where you can get the app. It's located on the Community Police Review Agency portal. The city says it makes it easier to track complaints from beginning to end. It also shows outcomes. So if there's any new training or new policy that comes out of one of these complaints, the app will actually track that. Now, you can't get it from your app store, but again, you can get it from that portal on the Community Police Review Agency portal that's coming from the city of Oakland. You have to put your name, your address, and you have to write what happened. You can also upload video or pictures on this app. Reporting live here in Oakland, I'm Jessica Flores, KPIX 5.
Well, time now for a check of our forecast with Julie Watts. A little bit of a cloudy Mother's Day, right?
Yeah, a little gray, a little cool, especially along the coast and by the bay today. We will likely see some sunshine this afternoon inland and maybe even some peaks of sun around the bay. But for the most part, temperatures much cooler. We've increased that marine layer. We've increased the onshore flow. So gray skies to start this Mother's Day. For those Mother's Day brunches, you might want to grab a sweater. 57 in Concord, 56 in Oakland right now, Livermore at 51. 56 in San Francisco, 55 San Jose, and 52 in Santa Rosa. Taking a look at your day part forecast, morning clouds and cool along the coast, 59 degrees your high there. Around the bay, we'll top out in the mid-60s, partly cloudy by this afternoon. And a similar story, only slightly warmer mid-70s for the warmest spots inland today. We'll likely keep some clouds around throughout the day, and again, it will feel a little cool. Futurecast tells the story right now, socked in even well into the East Bay, but as we make our way over the next couple of hours, the clouds will pull back to the coast, and we will likely get some peaks of sunshine around the bay. However, those clouds move back in later on this afternoon. Looking for something to do, the Alameda Spring Festival, low 70s there. I've got your
Nearly 6,000 people graduated from UC Berkeley yesterday after attending the university's commencement ceremony. But yesterday's celebration did have some controversy. U.S. Senator Kamala Harris decided earlier in the week not to deliver the commencement speech because of a labor dispute between the UC system and a major employees union. Replacing her was campus chancellor Carol Christ. Some students siding with Harris and the union turned their back as the chancellor spoke.
I mean, it's such a big day, you know, like 150 years ceremony, so it's kind of sad without like an actual speaker.
I really respect her decision to not speak because, I mean, it says a lot that she supports the UC workers and like wants to stick up for low wage workers so they can have a living wage. I think that's really admirable.
Negotiations between the union and the university continue. Union leaders are calling for higher wages and want the university to address what they call gender and racial inequality.
And drivers everywhere are dealing with pain at the pump. In California, gas prices are up about 50 cents compared to last year, and a 20-cent jump just happened in the last month. Now, in the Bay Area, the average price for a regular gas is $3.69 in San Jose. In Oakland, it's also $3.69. And in San Francisco, drivers can expect to pay $3.79. Now, AAA says we can expect another 20-cent increase in the coming weeks. Now, experts say that the increases are due to the pullout from the Iran nuclear deal and the political turmoil in Venezuela.
Developing right now out of Hawaii after more than a week of volcanic activity, President Trump has finally declared a major disaster disaster on the Big Island. Now, the eruptions have released high levels of sulfur dioxide and other gases into the air. Scientists say that these toxic fumes can mix with moisture, causing volcanic smog and acid rain.
It's mostly going to be an irritant. It will be trouble breathing or maybe some burning of your lungs.
A new volcanic vent opened up yesterday, spewing more lava and toxic fumes. Scientists worry that more eruptions could be on the horizon. Now, scientists are also keeping a close eye on some potential trouble spots here in California. That's because there are about 20 volcanoes in the Golden State, and the most dangerous ones are located in Northern California. They include Mount Lassen, Shasta, and the Long Valley area. The USGS has been working with state leaders for years to monitor those areas with plans in place in case anything were to happen, especially at Mammoth Mountain.
That's really the best thing that can be done, because there's no stopping a volcanic eruption once it starts.
Now, volcanoes are like earthquakes. They could go at any time, like Mount Shasta, which erupted probably about every 100 years. The upside is that volcanoes would at least give us some seismic warnings for weeks before they ultimately blow. Now, meanwhile, Alaska Airlines is slashing ticket prices for flights between the Bay Area and the Big Island. You can now get a round trip to Kona on the island's western side for under $300. That's well away from the volcanic activity on the eastern side. Some folks in an Oakland neighborhood say that a debris hauling company is putting their health at risk. A group of protesters yesterday in front of Santos Engineering on the city's west side. They say the company has ignored court orders to stop operations. Now, the city has sued Santos Engineering for a number of violations, including polluting the air. They claim that the business used a large fan to deliberately blow potentially toxic dust into a neighborhood.
We're just trying to get him out of the neighborhood because he's poisoning the neighborhood.
And dirt is covered with dust, so we stay inside for a reason, so we don't get sick.
Now, the city is asking the court to give it permission to shut the business down.
And in more Bay Area news, firefighters in Vallejo had a busy afternoon yesterday trying to contain this 5-alarm fire. It happened on Cassidy Street. It started in a backyard and then quickly spread to the home and destroyed it. Now, no one was hurt, but 3 other homes sustained minor damage after a nearby cypress tree caught fire and sent embers flying through the neighborhood.
Now, meanwhile, in San Jose, a big effort is underway to stop destructive fires before they start. Yesterday, volunteers installed smoke alarms at the Magic Sands Mobile Home Park. Mayor Sam Liccardo was on hand for the event, and so was philanthropist Q Wang, who donated $500,000 to get those alarms installed at no cost to homeowners.
In the city of San Jose, we have 11,000 mobile homes, and most of the Vietnamese, they are there. The reason that I come back here in order to help them.
Now, last year, he donated $5 million to help victims of the Coyote Creek flood. The San Jose Fire Department will manage this new program.
And President Trump is signaling he wants to open negotiations with California about fuel efficiency and tailpipe emissions. Mr. Trump met with executives from 10 car companies this week. The automakers support easing the rules, but they also want to make sure they can still sell the same cars nationwide. But since California is able to set its own standards, the president told the Transportation Secretary and the EPA Administrator to explore talks with California. The goal would be to create a single fuel economy standard.
Politicians from both sides of the aisle continue to voice support for U.S. Senator John McCain. The Arizona Republican was diagnosed in July with an aggressive form of brain cancer. He opposes President Trump's nominee for CIA director. Now, while discussing that at a recent White House staff meeting, Kelly Sadler, a special assistant to President Trump, reportedly said it doesn't really matter because McCain's dying anyway. Now, the White House has not denied that comment, but has also not apologized for it either. Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders confirmed that Sadler is still employed at the White House.
It's a pretty disgusting thing to say. I just wish somebody from the White House would tell the country that was inappropriate.
Now, Ohio's Republican Governor John Kasich called Sadler's reported comments outrageous. Former Vice President Joe Biden, a Democrat, says that decency in the White House has hit, quote, rock bottom. Now, meanwhile, the White House is dealing with another controversial comment from Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani. He told the Huffington Post that the president denied the proposed merger of AT&T and Time Warner. The official word from the White House is that the Justice Department denied that merger.
And Governor Brown unveiled his last ever budget. And despite almost $9 billion in surplus, he says the state shouldn't blow it. The governor says he crafted the $137 billion plan with a looming recession in mind. Now the question is what to do with $8.8 billion in extra cash. The governor says he wants to save 2/3 of it in case the economy takes a downward turn.
We're nearing the longest economic recovery in modern history. And as Isaac Newton once observed, what goes up must come down. This is a time to save for our future, not to make pricey promises we can't keep. I said it before and I'll say it again. Let's not blow it now.
And Brown's plan calls for almost $360 million to address state homelessness. After last year's raging fire season, $100 million will go toward fire prevention. And California's K-12 schools and community colleges would continue to receive the largest share, with $2.8 billion in a boost to the current levels.
Hello, everybody. Probably the only time you'll see a sports guy quote William Faulkner. Yet he did say, quote, "Do not bother just to be better than your contemporaries or predecessors. Try to be better than yourself," close quote. And the Giants can't even do that. Not in the state of Pennsylvania. Here's a hero's welcome, a second straight night for former Pirate Andrew McCutchen. And what's it been like as a Giant these days? Bases loaded and bam! Tony Watson hit a batter for another run. Giants lost again, 6 straight now, 6-5. Remember, they were swept in Philadelphia, too. Back day in the Bronx, New York. A's and Yankees. This one went 11 innings before Neil Walker got a walk-off. Yankees beat the A's, final of 7-6. Can the A's respond later on Sunday? PJ Players Championship, Tiger Woods, all the rage Saturday morning. Shot a 30 on the front 9, finished 7 under 65, jumped up from 68th to 9th. Webb Simpson is your leading. Out of the cat box at 11 for Eagle. Shot a 4 under 68. He's at 19 under par. It's his tournament to win or lose. He leads the field by 7. Somehow, this ball was fronted and scored by white-clad San Jose Earthquakes. Chris Wondolowski, what an assist to set up Danny Ahuzin for the go-ahead goal. The Quakes won the game, final of 3-1 in Minnesota. Just their second win of the year. That is sports at this hour. Have a good one. I'll see you around.